Hi guys. That clip you first saw was my first love. My first video game that I played a lot. Actually, probably not, but it was the first game I really put a lot of time into with myself, with my family, my brother especially, my friends, especially Paul, if you're out there, shout out. And yeah, that game really got me into kind of gaming. Got me into really practicing moves and strategies and stuff like that. And I think that's where the love of it began when I was around. When I was around about young, I was young, like before 10, going up to maybe 11, 12. And all my friends used to come around my house, and we always used to play the Commodore 64, which back in the day was ancient technology. And it also got me into kind of programming, got me into designing games, making games. I used to do that with my friends as well. Used to do these elaborate, long booklets of games and stuff. And that's when the era of Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario and stuff on Nintendo and stuff like that. And yeah, it was a period where I kind of learned a little bit about programming from my friend Paul. He had a PC at the time, and it was always looking forward to the next iteration of the PlayStation or the Mega Drive and all that stuff. And one of the areas we really got into was with my friends were competitive games. So things like driving games, fighting games, puzzle games, especially if it's competitive, if you're against each other. And yeah, it became a kind of regular occurrence with my friends. We all meet up, play these games together, and maybe I took it more seriously than most of my other friends. Especially with the game of Tekken, I used to really practice the moves and try to figure out how to kick my friend's ass with his character and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that coincided with my actually, I think through fighting games that made me more interested in martial arts itself and kung fu and stuff, especially with Tekken. So I think Tekken kind of helped me or introduce me to the world of martial arts and kind of fitness and stuff like that. Because I mean, I wasn't really a gym muscle head. I kind of liked more techniques and keeping fit and stuff like that. So kind of moved on to martial arts and through fighting games. I picked up doing taekwondo, which is probably why I really like Harang. It's one of the characters in Tekken. And I eventually did praying mantis style for a little while. And I think me and Paul, my friend, we were both into martial arts. He really liked kind of kung fu and stuff and kung fu movies, and we both kind of decided to practice capoeira together. And we also had a really deep interest of black history, black culture, and we was really intrigued by how capoeira was kind of developed during slavery, and is an African art. It is an African martial art. I wouldn't say a Brazilian in my view. But yeah, that's how I kind of got into it, with that link with martial arts, fitness, exercise, and stuff like that. So yeah, but eventually this would grow more. It kind of branched out more in my professional life. The first business I made was based on education and using educational games within schools. and I can't remember. It was PlayStation. I can't remember the game, but we wanted to use that and other educational games in schools. And I remember I wasn't working at the time and was on benefits and stuff. And me and my other friend, who was called Simon, we started to make a business plan. And we just did it for fun, but we grew and grew, and then we thought, you know what, we'll see if we can make it viable. So we wrote to certain people. We wrote to the TV show Dragon's Den, and we sent our planning, and actually, yeah, they wrote us back and said yes, we would like us to come on the show, but we didn't because we also applied for the Princess Trust, and the Princess Trust helped us. Basically helped us. They sent us like business advisors. They helped us develop our business plan, and then we decided to stay with them rather than just going to a random TV show and getting embarrassed. But yeah, we got helped with some business advisors to help develop the business plan, and used our ideas of using video games, and then we pitched to the Princess Trust people. I'm very nervous at the time. I think I was 23, 24, but it was a good experience, and we got the funding, and we didn't know what to do with it. Basically, we was like, oh my god, we actually did this. And then we got approached by a local business owner who owned the Ryan's corner shops, or Ryan's newsagents in Huddersfield in the town centre, and yeah, that's how we started the business. Basically, the owner, he owns a property at Old Internet Cafe in Huddersfield, and we started up there. And it's a long story, my business. I don't want to go too much into it, but it was a good experience. We lasted about a year. Inconsiderable differences, as they say. But yeah, it was a good experience. But I just wanted to get onto the stigma. I think now I'm older, and I'm 39, and because of that past, I wanted to give it a kind of detailed list of my past of experiences with video games. I think now that I'm older, and I still play games and I still enjoy them, and I still like the process of how games are made and stuff like that, and I would love for other people to be more interested in them. I still think what needs to be addressed is the stigma of it. There is a stigma of that it's meant for children, or it's there's no need to be use it as a hobby. Your people say you're wasting your time, and all this kind of stuff. Each to their own, I would say. But I just want to kind of dispel some of the misunderstandings I think people have of it. And the best way I can describe that is in a game in relation to Tekken, which is the game I've played for many years. It's probably the only game I play, because I think it's a very, I think, quite complicated game, and you could play and play and play and still not reach the peak, whereas other games you can complete it, get every item in the game, and you've so-called completed it. Well, this game is, you're basically fighting another human being, which I think is the best type of game. You're fighting another brain rather than an artificial brain, which is the computer AI. So that's one of the reasons why I like it, and I think it doesn't matter what age you are, and especially in this day and age, because I think I've grown up as a millennial. I can't even say it, with development of video games, and seeing the development of how they've progressed and stuff, and I think it's not like you can just turn into a geek in the dungeon in your house and you just play video games, although I've been there. So I think it's a viable pastime that people can have. You're not harming anyone. There are studies that show that it can help with problem solving. I don't know, just I think it's harmless, really. I had an idea to dispel stigma, but I think it's just cultural differences, really. I think in the West there is an idea of what a person should be like, a person how a person should be seen. And one of the ideas is, oh, they should be playing video games. You should be, doing stuff, developing things, whatever. I mean, I still have a job. I still work abroad. I've got my own house. All these things. So it doesn't stop me from, functioning as a normal human being. And I think that's the misunderstanding. And in the culture of Japan, it's very. I think it's quite accepted, really. I think it's part of their culture. Obviously, that's where a lot of video games come from. And you see lots of friends gather up. Arcades still exist here, and they go out together, and they have these big arcade halls, maybe 6 floors, and they all got together and play all sorts of games. It doesn't have to be like competitive games, but kind of like a fun fair. But it's a day out, and I mean, some people will say it's not kind of antisocial, but I think it's just another form of entertainment, another form of outlet of expression, and I think that's the main difference. There is no, oh, the stigma's less, or a lot less, I would say. But anyway, I just thought I'd get my thoughts onto video and just try to get used to expressing my thoughts in a video form. And I think I want to also expand on other topics, such as maybe being a black gamer, or being black in Japan, or my experiences working in a very non-black environment. No, other topics for another time. But yeah, thank you if you listen to this, my drivel. But thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.